There is a knowing that happens before thinking. What do we call this knowing? Some people would like to kind of term this as their gut feeling, but I like to invoke the word here, intuition. And I feel that a lot of people feel gravitated towards this word, intuition. It's a word which is kind of used by a lot of psychologists, a lot of believers in a lot of religious studies, and a lot of spiritual practitioners, but it is a very abstract term. And a lot of people try to kind of classify intuition in these categories of understanding it uh, as this part of our human system which knows even before thinking. So I want to kind of talk about this pre-knowing of something, this almost like a feeling that you can just like sense, but there is nothing tangible attached to it. And I would like to talk about intuition in terms of your personal and my personal experiences, rather not kind of taking a dive into the territory of making it seem something that's very ritualistic or very something that can only be understood if you are a avid meditator or if you have read a lot of psychology books and theories. But intuition is just a precursor of being human, and we have all felt it in one way or the other. So try to remember a time, let's say you're walking down a street and you just know that you shouldn't just go further ahead. There might be something dangerous, or there might be something that's not pleasant. You just know it. Sometimes you feel a sense of this disconnect with a certain people, and you know it. There isn't anything very tangible or uh, very rational or practical sort of ideas that will lead you to believe that, hey, these people are just not right? You get me, right? So this is what you say, this is my gut feeling. My gut feeling tells me that I shouldn't meet with those people. My gut feeling tells me that I shouldn't take up this role in this organization. My gut feeling tells me that I shouldn't drive today. And these are just incidents that are very human. You can't really put them in these boxes of, no, let's deep dive into intuition through a scientific method, or let's deep dive into intuition as through a very parochial religious sense, or let's just deep dive into intuition as a sort of as what a psychologist might do, kind of trying to understand the layers of your brain. So what I really care about, at least in my personal journey, my personal journey as a human being, I feel that intuition is something that's just ever present in all of us, and it often works to a lot of degrees. A lot of people, when we say I trust myself, what does that even mean, right? A lot of people have a lot of self-belief, this self-conviction, of this self-confidence. What does that really mean? Ask yourself these questions. So what this kind of mean is that certain people believe this knowing within themselves, rather just believing in plain, I I see a thing, I have to think about it. So my question is, what does thinking even mean? So let me invoke a lot of at least what I've gotten out of reading works of masters like Jiddu Krishnamurti, Osho, talks by Sadhguru, talks by uh, not talks, the book, very revered book by autobiography of a yogi by Paramahamsa Yogananda. Then just my sheer faith in my Guruji, Sai Baba, and just also getting impressions from a lot of other masters, a lot of even Westerners that I really admire, like Ram Dass, uh, Eckhart Tolle, uh, Alan Watts. Anyways, not digressing into this territory, maybe some other videos where I can talk about a lot of these masters and their works. Uh, yes, so Jiddu Krishnamurti and Osho particularly, they see our brain as this device that has nothing new to offer. It always lives, it always dwells in the past. It is a collection of a memory. It's a very flexible and a ever, I would say, a very, I think it's a very fluid hard disk, and it just gives you information from the past. When I say past, it stems from the last 2 minutes to the last 20 years, right? So what it does is it tries to analyze the present moment. It responds to what's happening right now and what might happen in the future through the information from the past. Sometimes it is very helpful. That's called contemplation, or sometimes it's called dhyan, or sometimes it's just introspection. Those are skills, yes, but us, 99% of the humans, we are just constantly thinking, and we are not contemplating. We are just thinking, and we are just trying to analyze everything. If we see a tree, our mind automatically analyzes it from the information that was stored from the past. So now intuition is beyond this thinking. So thinking can be classified into a very simple mechanism, and let me explain that. So just see your thoughts pop in, see the stream of thoughts that's just in your mind right now, and just try to understand who is doing the thinking. So your thoughts and the thinker is different in your head. So generally we identify ourselves as this thinker of the thoughts that's happening in our brain, but intuition is beyond the thinker and the thinking. So intuition is just instant knowing. It's an instant gut feeling, and you know it because intuition happens when you're not identifying with the thoughts that are floating in your head and to the thinker that is thinking them. Those are the moments when you are at peace, when I would like to invoke the word stillness. That's the goal of meditation, that just being still, watching our thoughts, not identifying ourselves as the thinker, which is our ego. Generally, that's what I like to kind of interpret. And intuition is this knowing beyond our intellect. Intellect, the word includes thinking and the thinker. So intuition is this intelligence that is something that connects human life, and that is a knowing beyond our thinking. It's almost like a connection, let's say, to God, to this super consciousness, to this realm of knowledge where when people connect to, they download an amazing information. Like when artists create beautiful pieces of music, it's a form of intuitive creativeness. When scientists, when they figure out through deep thinking, they often break away from a lot of their identity as a thinker, and sometimes they kind of tune in to this very gyan, I would say, because that's the right word, ironic, a sort of this gyan where they try to understand the rules of the nature, the rules of the world, the rules of the universe through maths, through physics, through chemistry, through biology. And similarly, in our daily lives, a lot of time when we are clear, when we often move with faith, let's say with any god that we love, or when we are continuously in sadhana, in consistent devotion of a spiritual practice. And the spiritual practice could be anything. It could be just playing, devoting our lives to playing a musical instrument, devoting our life into studying something, devoting our life exercising, devoting our life into doing something that just connects us with a deeper sense of self and takes us away from this constant thinking of the past information from our brain. Then we often kind of tune into this intuition. And a lot of people who are highly intuitive are people who are really creative. They really have great self-confidence because they really believe in the information within themselves as the truest of truths, rather than believing what other people have to say about something. And but sometimes, and most of the time, a lot of people, they are disconnected from their intuition or gut feelings. That's why a lot of time, even in their hearts of heart, they know that this is something that won't be good for them, but they still, because they're analyzing everything, they are just thinking constantly in a loop, thinking about thoughts, thinking about hypothetical scenarios that plays out in the future. And this disconnects them from this knowing, which is the reason the earth is rotating around this axis in the solar system. And this knowing is the reason why there is a vast variety of ecology on this life. The knowing is why our human bodies are functioning in such a beautiful, harmonious manner. And this knowing is why a lot of great things, what we really enjoy as humans, is happening. This knowing is why scientific methods are evolving and also bettering a lot of people's life. Knowing is why I am able to make this video and hopefully kind of make sense of this almost very, I would say, unknowing that we may feel that is somewhat true, but there is just no very direct discourse in terms of intuitive knowledge in our cultures, right? It is something very esoteric that you have to really go out of your way to find out. So next time when you have this gut feeling, listen to it, sharpen it, understand when do you always kind of try to understand when do you plug into this gut feeling, into this knowing. How's your intuition kind of shaping your decisions? And the best true and tried and tested method is just meditation. Daily meditation, it will definitely sharpen your intuitive senses, and you'll know just that oh wow, I know this. You'll just have this hit of a feeling, this, oh, I know this is right for me, oh, I know this is not right for me. And I encourage everyone to be meditative, or be, if that's not your thing, meditation is something that you feel that you maybe at this moment you're not able to just concentrate sitting in a place, I would encourage to take up an instrument, or maybe take up a creative practice, or maybe try yoga. If not yoga, go on a run. Trust me, go on a run. It will just clear your mind. It will take you away from thinking and just continuous streams of just endless thoughts. It's just repetition of what had happened, and it's just a repetitive old player that's playing all those tunes that you loved and that you loathed, but it's not something that is very essential for your growth in the present or in the future. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to this video, and I hope my sort of take on intuitiveness and intuition makes sense, resonates with some of you. Thank you.